Togashi definitely got majority of his inspiration for the Chimera Ant arc from Parasyte. Because the conclusion of Goto in this episode of Parasyte is very similar to a lot of circumstances to what happens in the Chimera Ant arc towards the ending. And to see the similarities of this, I'm quite shocked to see that. Like, they're not exactly identical, they're not, but to see a lot of similarities from this little arc of Parasyte alongside of the Chimera Ant arc of Hunter x Hunter, it's incredible. It really is. Now, I'm not going to say one or the other is better than the other. I'm not. They both tell a slightly different way of how evil humanity is or how bad humanity is on the planet. But the point of it is clearly Togashi took a lot of inspiration from Goto. Goto in general, you can consider him Yuppie in Hunter x Hunter and Meruem in certain aspects like that. And to see that, it's kind of sad. It really is. It's sad to see how such a strong creature like Goto died because of humanity. Pollution. And that's the real core theme I think this series is trying to let us know. As I've been discussing for the past couple reviews now, the main theme, as I can see that Parasyte's trying to wrap up the final tie and bow on Parasyte series, I feel like the mangaka is trying to show us that the true villain or the true enemy of the series is not the Parasytes. The Parasytes, they look like a race that is devouring humans, they're killing humans, killing lives, and it's awful. It definitely is awful when we look at it as humans. But if you consider this right now, okay, it's like they're animals. They're animals and they have to eat. And what do we do too, since we can also be considered the top of the food chain? We also eat other animals. Pigs, cows, I mean, we eat all sorts of things. And we devour, we don't think nothing of it from day-to-day life. And that's kind of how the Parasytes were. And the main point of it is that the Parasytes were like a ecosystem-type enemy for humans. Like, they were a natural enemy for humans to kind of thin down the population for the planet doesn't die. And that is showcased in this episode of Parasyte. Because with the theme of this episode, or the ending conclusion, you have to where Goto, as this strong, superior Parasyte that is unstoppable, like, he was pretty much invincible. Unless you probably drop a nuke on top of his head, he was pretty much invincible. And no man, like single man, could probably face him or fight him or anything, because that's how strong he was in physical combat. And what really killed Goto wasn't the act of someone overpowering his strength, it was humanity's destruction that killed Goto. That's what really brought down this monster, this Parasyte, in this episode. Even though Izumi, he stabbed Goto, and he stabbed him, that would not have really have killed him if it wasn't for humanity's destruction of polluting the environment. For instance, dumping these chemicals into the environment and it gets into other creatures. Like, this is happening all the time. Like, I saw on the news this morning, I actually saw on the news this morning, I'm not joking, it was on CNN, there was on the news that over 2,000 different birds died to some form of chemical. 2,000 birds fell out of the sky and died, and it was on the news this morning. I'm like, holy shit. So, it just goes to show you, it's a common occurrence that happens in real life. Creatures that are very strong and powerful die not because they are killed because they're just, you know, destroyed because they're outmatched in strength, but they're killed because of humanity's destruction when it comes to either overhunting or wanting to have greed or pollution. And that's exactly what was showcased with Goto in this episode, the ending conclusion of him. And so, it's quite sad. It really is. The main theme of the series is showing us that we are the real parasites of the series. We are the real parasites of the planet. That's what I feel like the mangaka is trying to show us with this episode, or the finale of Parasyte. Because we've had it wrong all the time. We always thought the parasites were the parasites, even though they're kind of considered parasites. If you look at it, they're actually helping out a lot of the environment. They are. And if you look at us as the human being, the superior species, we're not really helping out much. Like, you know how last episode, episode 2 back, we had it to where that dude, the mayor or whatever, he was talking like, humanity always has these in-game goals for themselves. When they're going after something, they're having, you know, fixing, you know, deforestation, stuff like that, they always have these in-game goals in their mind for they can, you know, profit from it. That's what humanity is like. And let's be real here, majority of companies are in it for the profit. Let's just be real here. And so, to see that, it just brings up a really ongoing discussion today. It's an ongoing discussion today's society that happens daily, and it's crazy. It really is. I really have to say, I'm happy with the way the mangaka was able to tell such a controversial series back in the past, the way he wrote this. It's a really good series. Now, getting at the subject topic of it, I know some are going to have massive issues with the series, because I saw a lot of commenters in a couple past reviews where I was bringing up the real parasites of the series are probably us humans. Some had issues with that because they didn't like that, but the main theme of Parasyte has been building up to that. It has been building up to that moment since the very beginning of the series, and to see how it's been wrapped up with this, I'm pleased. Next episode is the finale of the series. I'm guessing it's going to be kind of the epilogue of the series because it's the finale. All the enemies, I'm guessing, are pretty much dead at the moment. So, yeah, the finale is next week. How do y'all feel about that? I mean, how do you feel about this journey of Parasyte? How do you feel about the main core theme of the series? And how do you feel about Togashi taking a lot of inspiration from Parasyte and putting it into the Chimera Ant arc? It's quite unbelievable if you think about it. I mean, Togashi, he did improve some aspects, I have to say. Togashi improved a lot of aspects when it came to some of these themes in this episode. He definitely did. But yeah, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.